Welcome everyone to this briefing brought to you by the Israel Defense and Security Forum, IDSF. Today I come to you from Tekuma, 5 miles from the Gaza border. And there's a phrase in the Psalms that I'm thinking about. Hazorim bidima berina yiktsoru. Those who plant with tears will one day reap with joy. This area has seen a lot of tears since October 7th. But today is a day of joy because today we are celebrating the opening of the pre-army program in Moshav Tekuma, built by IDSF. Last year, we ran a campaign to raise money to build a program that will train the next generation of leaders of Israel. The program is open, the buildings are built, the students are here, they're learning, they're exercising, they're training to become fighters, officers, and eventually leaders of the state of Israel. It's such an exciting day. I sat down with the head of the program. I sat down with one of the instructors of the program. I sat down with some of the students. Listen to what we spoke about. We have a phenomenal staff here at the mechina, and it's a great pleasure to be joined right now by Yosef, who is one of our instructors here. Yosef, why don't we begin, and you can just explain how you got to Israel and how you ended up even serving in the Israeli army, because as our viewers will find out in a couple seconds, you are originally American.
So I grew up in a very Zionistic family, Holocaust survivors. My dad didn't have uncles, grandparents who survived the Holocaust. So that trauma always existed in our family. My grandfather, he was a soldier in World War II. He served in 2 different militaries, the Polish and British military during World War II. And after he ended his service, he went to join the Haganah and served in the Independence War. I grew up with his name. I never got to meet my grandfather, but I grew up with the yichus of his name. And that always inspired me from a young age. When once I knew what the Israeli army is, what Sahal was, I've always wanted to join. My journey to joining the army wasn't so pashut, it wasn't simple. I had to go over a couple knee surgeries, and I had to overcome culture, language barriers, etc., etc. But nevertheless, I think we as a Jewish people have overcome much more as a people. And we all have our talich, a journey that we have to make in order to give back to our nation and to our people.
So you were living in the comfort of your American home. You overcame surgeries to push yourself into a combat unit. And then you served in Gaza, in the war. You went through a tremendous amount. You are a hero of Israel for all that you did. I know it's not easy, but can you share a little bit about that really traumatic, or one of those really traumatic experiences you went through?
First of all, I'm no hero. All the heroes are not with us anymore. They've given the ultimate sacrifice. But to answer your question, something that was traumatic, that very much impacted me in my life. I lost a couple of friends in a tragedy that happened to us in my 9th round in Gaza. I wasn't there, but I will explain to you why I wasn't there. In my 8th round in Gaza, I was in a neighborhood called Zaytun, and there was a very hot area, a lot of Hamas, a lot of fighting. And one night, I went to go downstairs to hang out with one of my friends, just to drink a coffee, smoke a cigarette with him. And I had night vision as a point man. Point man means you are the first part of the team to go into a room. I was a light machine gunner. Me, along with my squad leader, were the first people to go in, along with my fire team. I was going downstairs in Zaytun, down this building, to go meet with my friend, and I twisted my ankle simply. My ankle became purple and blue and swollen, and I operated on that twisted ankle for about 5 days. I kept on cursing my ankle. I was like, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen to me. I was almost taken out, but I decided to continue on and stay with my squad. And I fought on a twisted ankle. I wrapped my ankle up with bandages every single day. Fast forward, when I got out, I went to go see a family doctor to check out my ankle. And the doctor gave me 10 days off. And I requested he give me an extra 4 days, 2 weeks, because I was dealing with a lot. And I just been in Gaza 8 times, 8 different tours. And so he gave me 14 days off. And in day 12, my squad went into day 12. My squad was in Rafiah, and they went to go clear a UN health clinic. The health clinic, there was intelligence that there was intelligence on Khatufim, kidnappees being there, or maybe some papers that could lead us to them. And so we had to go there. But at the same time, there was a khashad, there was a we suspected that the UN health clinic was booby-trapped. So what we did was we shot an anti-material rocket into the building in order to explode any ordnance that was inside the building. And then we sent in a drone. And then after the drone, we checked out, everything was clear. They sent in the squad. 2 fire teams walked in. A fire team usually consists of 4 to 5 people. And they walked in, they cleared the health clinic, and then it blew up. 3 people were killed. The rest were heavily injured. My friends who died were named Amir Galilov, Ido Apple, V'uri Bao, Hashem Yinkum Demum, Zecha Levacha. I went through a miracle that basically I had to find my reasons why I'm here and why they're not here. And since then, I think for the rest of my life, I'll be on a journey to continue giving the rest of me, because I know that I'm here for a reason, a specific purpose. Like every other Jew on this planet, we all have a purpose. We have a purpose to donate to our nation, to our people, and to make the world a little better. And I think that's what, as an army, the Israeli army, that's what our purpose has been from the get-go.
Yosef, that is, there's no words to respond to that. What you have done for our country, what your friends did for our country, that's why we're here. And it's remarkable that you're still fighting and you're giving back.
My friend had a saying in Hebrew, Im kvar ad hasof. If you're already doing something, do it to the end. That is our people. That is who we are as a people. And we will finish this job. We will all finish. We will all come to the realization one day. We already have come to the realization that what we are doing is the emet, the truth. We are the truth.
And speaking about that truth that kind of guides you and your friends, you have a powerful story about Hanukkah in Gaza. Maybe you can share with us.
Yes. So around the 4th, I can't remember if it was the 3rd or 4th round in Gaza for me, but we were in a particular neighborhood that was very hot, and it was Hanukkah. We were in Gaza for the whole of Hanukkah, and they gave us these tin menorahs, the cheapest menorahs that they had and that they could give out. They gave it to us. And I thought to myself that I don't know when I'll be able to get another menorah, or even if we will get another menorah in the future. So I kept that menorah with me that whole round. And during that tour of duty in Gaza, we weren't ever stationary. We were always moving forward. We were always clearing buildings, trying to find intelligence on Khatufim, killing Hamasnikim, killing terrorists. And there were moments during that time where we couldn't carry our big bags with us, our 70-liter bags. So what I did was, during one of the houses I was clearing, I found a prayer rug. I took that prayer rug and wrapped it around my menorah, the tin menorah, in order to protect the frame of the menorah. And I had that strapped to my back for the 8 days that we were in that operation. And every single day, whether it was 7 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, when we were all exhausted, when we finished operations, we would make up a house into our little fortress. It's called, in Hebrew, Bait V'Hagana. We would cover all the windows up. We would create firing holes with a 5-kilo hammer. We would blow holes through the walls to make little holes, shooting ports, to cover all sides, all directions. And we would light the menorah when we knew 100% that we minimized the amount of light that exited the building. And when we lit that menorah and we sang Haneot halalu einanu malikim, it gave us the koach to continue forward. I'm getting goosebumps remembering this, thinking about this. My squad, not all of us were Jewish. We had one Christian, We had some people who had Jewish heritage. We had Chilonim, Smolanim, Datim. We had every single type of person. If you don't understand, we had religious people, not religious people, people from all walks of life from Israel with us. And we would all sing the songs of Hanukkah together. And it would give us the strength to continue forward, the light, to just look into the light of the menorah. It would give us the strength to know that we are doing our mission and we will complete our mission, and that our mission is the truth, Haemet.
Yosef, the students here are so fortunate to have you as an instructor, as a guide, as someone to look up to. And we were chatting before, you have so many stories. I think you got to write a book. You got to go on the speaking tour. I want to ask you one more story about I don't want to give away the story, but you told me about a person who has an interesting, to say the least, background and then joined the military. Can you share that one?
So as a Jew who grew up from a family of Holocaust survivors, I've always held in my heart a lot of hate for the Germans for what they did to us, along for Poles and Ukrainians. The whole of Europe, they turned their backs on us. And I always held that in myself. I remember when I was 18 years old, we went on a cruise, and the cruise ship landed in Hamburg. My family, we did not step foot onto German soil because of that emotion. Fast forward to my army, 2 years into my army service, I finished a 12-hour shift on the borders of Jenin. And I was very hungry. I didn't eat all day. And when I got back to our little outpost, there was somebody in the Cheder Ochel, the cafeteria, who was eating a shawarma, and he had next to him some hummus and pitot. So I asked him if I can have a pita and hummus, and he said sure. And we got talking, and we were talking about family, life, the whole shebang. And he mentioned to me that his brother was supposed to join the Israeli Navy SEALs, Shayetet. But he didn't join then because he decided he didn't want to join the army. And I asked him, how could that be? In Israel, you're mechayev, you're obligated to join the army. Well, he responded that his parents are diplomats from Germany. And I asked him, so why did you draft? He said, well, my grandfather was a German soldier in the Nazi army, and he fought in Europe and in Russia. And I thought at that moment, wow, I'm breaking bread with somebody who at one point, both our grandfathers were fighting against each other, and now we're on the same team fighting together. Sure enough, we went to war together. We went to Gaza, and we served 8 rounds together in Gaza. It's a very powerful story for me because I've traveled all over the world. I've been to around 28 countries, 29 countries. And every single time I was in a hotel or a hostel that I met a German, it was always hard for me to shake their hands because of the trauma of the Holocaust. But, no son is guilty of their father's sins, and that's something that I had to realize. And I had to be mochel, this person, in order to relieve that thought, or, the thought that sat in my heart, that pressure. And I'm forever grateful to my friend Simon, who was with me, who served with us, and was willing to put his life on the line for our people. Am Yisrael Chai.
Let me ask you one final question. You get out of the army, you have a range of opportunities here in Israel. You are a talented guy. You could be doing high tech in Tel Aviv. Why did you choose to come to this pre-army mechina program in the Gaza Envelope and be involved with educating kids? What pulled you to that?
I made a journey. I made aliyah to join the army. And whether or not I think every Jew should make aliyah, I made that journey to come here. And every job is important. It's all about perspective. A bus driver could have the most fulfilling service. A garbage man could have the most fulfilling job. It's all about perspective. But I think that I didn't just come here to become an electrician or work in high tech. I came here to donate myself to this country, my people. And I think we all have something like that within us. We have to give. We have to continue giving. You know, one of the only things that God has that's physical, that's outside of him, is to give. He created the world to give to us. He created man, he created Adam, Chava, he created the Jewish people. We are here to emulate God, to continue giving. And I think that's a very powerful thing.
I'm very excited to be sitting right now with the Rosh Mechina, the person who is charged with overseeing all of the education of these wonderful students here in this Mechina in Tekuma. Shlomi is right beside me. And Shlomi, if we could start off, I'm just curious if you can explain what motivated you, what motivates you in general to give to the country like this, to be involved in education in a pre-army program?
So I'm coming from a modern Orthodox family, originally from Rehovot, and I remember always when I was born in Israel, my family was always giving me the values of the Derech Eretz and the Torah because I'm coming from a modern Orthodox family. And I remember when I was 17 years old, they took me from the school. They took me to a Poland trip, and one of the days we was in Auschwitz. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember Eliezer. He was a Holocaust survivor that was with us, and he told us that story when he was a little kid in the Shoah, in the Holocaust. He took with him a rock, put it in his pocket, and he said, when I will get married and I will go to the Israeli state and I will live there, I will get married and I will give it to my wife. And I'm going to have kids and grandkids, and I'm going to establish the Israeli state together with everybody. And he told us to take a rock from Auschwitz, and I did. I took a small rock, and he gave us as well. He gave us a small Tehillim book. I put it in a small bag, and I'm taking with me from that moment for the rest of the life until I'm going to get married. I'm going to give it to my wife under the chuppah. And I remember that was saving me every time in my life, because that's one of the things that giving, it's actually representing my values. One of them is the past of my people, the past of Israel. Holocaust, and that's the reason after the Holocaust we built the Israeli state to save and give a safe place for Jews from all around the world. And the other one is the Torah and the Derech Eretz, of course, that we're going together. And I put it in a small bag, and I'm taking it with me to everywhere. I took it through my military service. I was a combat soldier and combat engineer. To make it simple, I was in the bomb squad. I was in mines and bombs, and that's what I did as a combat engineer in the army a long time ago. And I'm taking it with me to every place that I'm going, because that's one of the things that I believe. Yeah.
And what would you say are some of the values or guiding principles that you hope to instill within these students in the Mechina here?
So first of all, we need to understand that 62% of the kids, we have 29 kids in the Mechina, 10 girls and 19 boys, 62% of them coming from very complicated homes. Some of them was moving so many schools around their life because they didn't get the chance to show who they are. They didn't get the chance to be who they are. And here in the Mechina, they have the place and the home, the safe home, to be who they want to be, and together with us to work with the values of the Eretz and the Torah and the values of the Jewish people, our story, to be who exactly we want to be, and to go and work together with us about the dreams and the hopes, and complete it and make the best that they can do in that 6 months. And after to do a very meaningful military service in the best unit in the IDF, from Shetet 13 to Seret Matkal to 8,200 intelligence, and any unit, we taken their homes and dreams, and that 6 months we doing a process together with them, and we trying to make it for them the best experience, and trying to make them the best version of themselves, with the Derech Eretz and the Torah that we're going together. But first, you need to be a human being. First of all, you need to know the Derech Eretz. And after that, of course, the Torah that's going together. It's one of the things that very unique about this Mechina. These kids, we're doing everything for them. And this place, it's their home. I have a few kids here that they have nowhere to go, or they don't have money or anything else, because this is the homes and the families that they're coming from. And here in the mechina, they find their homes, they accomplish the dreams and the hopes, and together we go into a new way with them.
Shlomi, that's amazing, and we wish you so much success in this very important work. I want to ask you a tough question that we didn't prep for, but you seem like a smart guy. One of the aspirations of this program is to build the future leadership of the state of Israel and the future leadership of the army. But at the same time, as you're describing, a good number of these kids come from challenging past, the periphery, so to speak, of Israel. So how do you balance the two? You would think that the future leadership of Israel, we would want to draw kids from elite high schools and very wealthy, affluent families, but yet we're drawing these kids from other types of communities and expecting greatness from them. Do those two go hand in hand?
The first step is to believe in them. So when I'm believing them, I'm not looking about the background, I'm not looking about the families, I'm looking about the kid himself. That boy or that girl that decided to stop his life for 6 months to do a mechina and then go into the army. I do have a kid, for example, that his parents don't have any money, don't have money to pay for it. He's a barber. And he had the choice. He had the choice to go to the IDF already. But he chose to do a mechina. He chose to challenge himself. And he told me over the phone before he came here, I'm going to pay for it from my own pocket. Even though my family don't have any money, I just want to do a mechina for myself. And the first thing that I told him, you're not going to pay anything. We're going to cover everything because we believe in you. We believe in your way. And because you came from a very complicated background, it's not mean that you cannot do that stuff. You cannot do a mechina. And that's what I'm telling them. And with the helping of the non-profit, the Bitchonistim, we can do that. And we already did great progress. And I'm sure that in the end of the 6 months, he is going to be the next officer, the next leader of Israel. And we're already here. He already is. The thing that he's doing in a few days here, I'm seeing it from the side. He's commanding on people here and telling what to do. He's helping one another, even though his background is very complicated, very, very complicated. But you already did a process. Imagine what's going to happen. This is what happened in a very few days. Imagine what's going to happen in the end of the 6 months. Imagine how great leader, how amazing leader he already is, and amazing leader he's going to be. That's amazing, and that's what we're doing here with the kids. We believe in that. This is why we call it Mechina of Champions, because they already are, but they're going to be the next generals, the next officer in the IDF, and the leaders of tomorrow.
It's very exciting to be sitting right now with Jordan, who is one of our phenomenal students in the pre-army program, the Mechina here in Moshav Tekuma. And Jordan has a wonderful story about what brought him here in his aspirations in the army. So Jordan, I'm going to hand it over to you. Why don't you just share with our viewers where you're from, if you grew up in a culture of serving in the army, and if October 7th changed anything.
Thank you, Moshe. Well, I grew up in Tel Aviv, and where I grew up and the school that I went to, the culture there, it doesn't have, they don't really teach you why you should go to the army and why it's important to enlist and defend your country, and serve your country. I knew from a young age that I wanted to enlist and go combat, because that's what my father taught me. He told me many stories from the time he served in Golani and was in Lebanon. And he taught me that the people who protect us day and night are the combat soldiers who stand at the borders and keep us safe. And so I knew from a young age that I wanted to enlist. And at some point in my life, when I was in high school, I heard about Special Unit 669, which is the Special Forces unit responsible for rescuing injured soldiers mostly, but then also just any civilians at any situation whatsoever. And I I heard about it and I thought, yeah, that's exactly where I want to go. I want to go there and I want to go combat and also do as much as I can to save the lives of my Jewish and Israeli brothers and sisters. And the unit is very, very hard to get accepted to. And so I thought, okay, I will have better chances if I enlist a bit older and more mature and more knowledgeable and physically prepared. And I came across the mechina on social media, and after a few minutes reading about it, I thought that's exactly where I want to go. Um, I mean, really, I fell in love with it, um, with the training and the teaching here, and also the time spent volunteering for different agricultural um, places. Yeah, that's the main reason.
Fantastic. And can you just explain to us a little bit? You did 4 years of high school, 200 some kids in your graduating class. Ninth and 10th grade were very different than 11th and 12th grade because, of course, the outbreak of the war. How would you say October 7th affected your classmates, kids in your school, in terms of their interest and willingness to either serve in the Army in general or specific units in particular?
So the thing is, during ninth and 10th grade, the army wasn't a big subject, but whenever it came up, most of the students said either they don't know whether they're going to enlist, or if they knew, most of them said they wanted to go into different intelligence units and later on in their life get accepted to high paying, high tech jobs. And that was their reason. There weren't many students talking about, I want to serve my country, I want to help, I want to defend. And what happened was October 7th happened, and we spent 2 months at home. We didn't go to school, and suddenly when we came back, like in a matter of a few weeks, everyone I knew and many of my friends decided they were gonna go combat and even go to try and get accepted into special forces units and do whatever they could to enlist, and were just as excited as you could get about it. And I think the thing is, it was very much the war that had this effect on them, because the students from a year or 2 years before most of them didn't go serve as a combat soldier, and my friends, most of them also didn't plan on that, and then suddenly decided, no, I want to go and I want to defend my country and serve as best as I can.
So you're going to spend your time here in the mechina, studying hard, volunteering, exercising, getting ready for your days in the military. And what do you want to accomplish in the Army? Do you want to just do a couple years and get out? Do you have long-term aspirations for your military service?
I want to. I have long-term aspirations. I want to serve in the army for longer than I legally have to, because I have this urge to really give as much as I can to my country, and I also want to be a general one day. And that's one of the main reasons that I came to the mechina, because it's well known that if you want to become a general, it usually happens when you're older and more mature, and that's one of the reasons I came here.
So I'm sitting now with Netta. Netta, thank you for joining me for a few minutes and agreeing to speak in English with me. You graduated high school and now you find yourself in this program in the Gaza Envelope. what motivated you to decide to join the Army? Let's start with that. If you could give us a little bit of an understanding, how many girls in your graduating class chose the Army versus other options?
Okay. I think it's like 70% that go to the Army in my school and like 30 that goes to Sharut Leumi. It's very popular in my city. I live in Modi'in. It's very popular to go to the Army, and even if in my school that was religion, they very like say to us to go to the Army and how it's important and how it's meaningful, and even it's religions, and like in Israel it's very like religion people go to the Sharut a very higher percent. In my school it's very like say to us to go to the Army and do their very like to be in very good jobs and to go to Kravi and like this. They very say it's very important.
And I'll just step in and translate for a second. Sharut Leumi is national service, so you're saying about 40% of the girls in your high school were encouraged or chose to do national service rather than join the Army, whereas your school did push Kravi, you said, which is to be a combat soldier. I'm curious if October 7th changed anything for those percentages of girls choosing national service versus being in the Army.
Yes, so after October 7th, a lot of girls like me, the decision if to go to Sharut or to Army was very from hard decision. It's like
an easy decision.
Yes, too easy decision. It's like it was very
What's the Hebrew?
פתאום נהיה מאוד פשוט להחליט, כאילו.
It's very simple to decide.
Yes, to go to the Army. And a lot of girls like me decide to do this.
Okay, and what do you hope to accomplish in the Army? Do you have a specific unit in mind? Do you want to just do a couple years and then you're out, or do you see it as a long-term career?
I hope to do a long of career. I hope to do a job that's meaningful and like to give what I have to give and what I can to give, and I think it's very important.
Natsa, thank you so much. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you. Take care.
Thank
you everyone for tuning into this briefing, and thank you to all of our amazing partners who joined with us to build this mechina. Because of your donations, because of your support and your partnership, we are quite literally training the next generation of leadership here in Israel. And we will be back with you next week, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. here in Israel. Until then, stay safe, stay strong. Take care, everyone.